everyone, welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. So joining me today is Daniel Gibson. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you. Where in the US are you?
So I'm currently located in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here for about a year now.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I've never been to Georgia. I went to Texas once. It's so
It's
hot in Texas.
it's kind of warm here. But Atlanta's cool. I'm in Atlanta. It's
Okay.
okay. A
Okay,
melting
nice.
pot for up and coming, I would say, entrepreneurs, a good place for young professionals. So it's good to be here.
Hmm. Which leads me to my next question. Can you tell us more about you and what is it you do?
Okay, so I was born and raised in the Bahamas. I moved to the United States after high school to go to college. Went to Morgan State University in Baltimore for undergrad, Bowie State University in Bowie, Maryland for graduate school. Studied public relations and communications there at both schools. Um, Worked in the industry for a while in Baltimore. Then I decided to move to Atlanta to do the same thing. And currently, I run a public relations agency here called the Strategist Group.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, that's awesome. I interviewed a lady from the Bahamas as well. Yeah. Um, when did you left the Bahamas, if I may ask?
I was 17, I want to say. 17.
Okay.
I graduated high school, so 2015, I graduated high school.
Okay, okay. That's awesome. So you've done public relations. Which department did you kind of work in?
So
What are your
worked
expertise?
I've worked almost every lane there is the PR. I started off in entertainment in the agency world. I've done nonprofit, I've done higher education, I've done faith-based, I've
Hmm.
done politics,
Hmm.
like crisis communication. I mean, you name it, I've done it. In my first internships, currently in my business, however, I'm working with a lot of coaches, a lot of life coaches, purpose
Hmm.
coaches, trauma coaches, just really people who are in the transformational space. I'm open to working with others, but currently a lot of my clientele is in that space to help people really find their purpose and transform their lives.
Hmm. Hmm. That's a very amazing job to have because so many of us we don't know what our purpose is. If we know, we don't know where to start.
Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. And you also work with a faith-based community as well.
I do. So I do a lot of consultations and trainings for a lot of churches. I work with a lot of pastors, just helping them really move their congregation, move their church into 21st
Mm,
century, being able to stretch and be able to kind of move with the times without losing, the word and the structure of the church. Um, when I was
mm,
raised in the church, I was raised Episcopal. But when I moved to the United States, I've explored I was a member of the AME Church. Um,
mm,
well, technically I am to this day, but I've been in part of different ministries. I consulted with different ministries,
mm,
and the common the common fact I've come across is that churches just don't know when it's time to shift. Do we shift to support our young people who can't really support the church financially, or do we
mhm,
stay stagnant for the sake of the members who are supporting the church? So a lot of pastors are faced with that challenge, and it's
mm,
interesting to see how we navigate that depending on the ministry.
mhm, mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that you're doing that work. Um, what got you into connecting with the faith community?
So actually, I guess you can say, have some level of pastoral aspirations.
Mm,
I want to figure out a way to merge my passion, which is PR, and my
mhm,
purpose, which I believe is in the faith community. And so,
mhm,
why can't I use my skills that I've gained in school for the church? The only challenge was there really is no model how to do that. I mean, there are people who come into the ministry and kind of go to ministry. I wanted to come into the ministry 50%. I wanted to stay in the industry 50% and
mhm,
work the two. And so it took a lot of kind of trial and error to really figure out what it looks like. What am I actually doing for these churches? What am I doing for these leaders? Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
and it kind of came down to a lot of consulting, a lot of late
Mhm.
nights answering questions and working through ideas and strategies, um,
Mhm.
to really
Mhm.
just help us kind of thrive and kind of grow. So that's kind of how I got into it, just out of searching for a common ground between passion and purpose.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I love that. I can tell that you're really good at what you do.
I I I hope so. I try my best. I try my best.
Yeah. How would you normally describe yourself?
Um, People laugh, but I would say professionally, I'm an extrovert.
Mhm.
Put me in a room, I will network my way through it. But personally, I'm an introvert and a little selfish when it comes to myself. I don't I like to be alone. I like to really be bothered. I like a lot of fuss.
Mhm.
Um, but on the flip side, when I'm working, I'm normally the one shaking things up. I'm normally the one
Yeah.
causing a ruckus or causing, a lot of conversation. Because what I do, causes a lot of change. People like change.
Mhm.
And so my personality is very, very diverse, very versatile. Some days I'm locked away from the world and I'm just kind of working, kind of just picture my clients, do my thing. And some days
Mhm.
where I'm just out and about at meetings, at church services, just kind of
Mhm.
networking and supporting my clients. So
Mhm.
it's my personality is a lot. It's a lot, and you really never know what you're gonna get on what day.
I love that because when we have things that people can expect, then they don't really look forward to it. I mean,
Mhm.
right? That's really cool. Um, so what is one source of your motivation to do what you're doing?
Just my family. I come from a very large. I'm Caribbean, so I come from a very large family. Very in your face. What you do, what's going on, how
Yeah.
you doing? Are you do what are you doing with your life, basically? And so
Yeah.
constantly knowing that in the back of my head that I have to produce because my family expects nothing but that from me is my
Mm,
motivation. Obviously, God is a big part of that. But God has sent me all these aunts, uncles, and cousins to make
mhm,
sure that I am doing what I said that I want to do. At the end
mhm,
of the day, I chose my career. No one chose
mhm,
it for me. And so, when I stood up and said, I want to do PR, I want to go to HBCU, it was like, okay, you should do these things, but you're going to do them properly. And so my
mhm,
family has been a big part of making sure that I to what stick to what I started.
mhm. Sounds like they're very supportive as well, which is amazing.
They are in their very own unique way.
Mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah, tell me something that is unique about you that I would never guess.
I I always never understand really get this question because, like I said, my personality is very diverse. It's very versatile, and
Mhm,
I think the biggest thing is people are surprised when I said I'm an introvert, and I really don't. I don't have a lot. I don't have a whole slew of friends. I have a small little circle.
mhm,
Um, And people just don't they don't when they see me and meet me and talk to me, they don't get that. My
mhm,
brother, very outspoken all the time, very out there, very social. We're complete opposites. Uh, but when
mhm,
we're together, you think we're the same person. And so I
mhm,
would say that's kind of the surprise people that found that I really don't get into the mix a lot.
mhm,
I stay to myself and kind of
mhm,
lock down and focus on what I need to do and get it
mhm. Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm the opposite from my sister. She's very outgoing, and me, I need to retrieve and be by myself to get energy. I still
done.
help people just from a different place. I love
Yeah.
people sometimes from a distance, and that's okay as well.
And
Yeah,
that is
yeah.
absolutely okay.
Mhm,
Absolutely,
mhm.
absolutely. You do not have to be in people's faces to make a change and make a difference.
Yes,
A
yes.
lot of, a lot of the biggest decisions in the world happen behind closed doors.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, you're right. Um, so what is one um childhood memory you have and cherished?
I would just say it just being with my family. I mean, my parents made sure that we had everything and anything that we wanted and needed. Obviously, within
Mhm.
reason. Nothing, nothing through the moon, but we had everything that we wanted and needed within reason. And
Mhm.
just watching them work hard, but also balance having a family life.
Mhm.
Yes, my
Mhm.
father, he missed a few things here and there, but for the most part, he was at everything, and my mom was at everything.
Mhm.
Just being looking around, know that they were there, and they were very supportive, very happy. They made
Mhm.
everything a memory, or tried to make everything a memory. I mean, we traveled and experienced the things, and whatever we were interested in, we did. I had a moment where I was into tennis, and so I, did tennis, and I was into golf, and I did golf, and I did swimming and soccer. And so it was,
Mhm.
they were very supportive and make sure that we enjoyed our childhood and our lives.
Mhm.
They made sure that we were very active in the church. They made sure that we were, as a family, very close and did things together.
Mhm.
And that we appreciate and cherished not only our internal unit, the five of us, but our external unit, my grandparents. I would go to my grandmother's house every day as a child growing up after school, with my cousins
Mhm.
and my aunts and uncles. And so just really cherishing family, well, cherishing God, first of all,
Yes.
cherishing family and making memories.
Mhm. Mhm. I love that. So are you currently going to school to work in seminary? Is that correct?
So I'm currently finishing up a certificate program at Princeton in youth and theology. And in the
Okay.
fall, I will be going back to school
Mhm.
to pursue another degree. I haven't shared this with anyone else yet, and so I'm going to keep some of it under wraps. So I will be going back to school um, to pursue some further education. Uh,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
yes, I will be going back to seminary. I will go to seminary to my further education. Um,
Mhm.
to kind of really complete my life's goal and what I think my life's vision is, what God has planned for me.
Mhm. Mhm. That's awesome. Can you tell us what does your faith mean to you?
It is who I am. It is literally the makeup of who I am.
Mm.
I don't know a life out faith. I don't know what it is like to really not have God in my life or think about God or think about, even when I know I'm doing wrong,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about repenting as I'm doing it. It's kind of weird, but it's just like I know that I would not be where I am or who I am without God. And so I
Mhm.
cannot give him and what is due to him. I
Mhm.
cannot, I just can't. And there's just no way that I see myself ever, running away from the faith, from my faith and
Mhm.
the Christian community.
Mhm.
That's how I was raised. It's all part of my makeup. It's everywhere I turn.
Mhm.
My family, very rooted. My friends are very rooted. And those who aren't rooted as deeply as I am look to me as that source of connection. And so even
Mhm.
for that, as accountability to
Mhm.
them, I can't give up.
Yeah. 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 So you want to become a pastor? Which direction are you heading?
I am going in whatever direction God leads me in. I will
Mm.
say that obviously being 26, being a pastor, just it's just not sexy. No, that's just the reality. But honestly, I'm committed to whatever God planned for my life, and
Mhm.
if that is the life goals, that if that is the end, if that's the end of the journey, that's where I'm going to go. But at the moment, I'm just committed to spreading His word, supporting His people, and holding other Christians accountable to do the same.
Mhm. I love that. Um, you've given yourself lots of room and freedom to express and to learn at the same time. I love
Yes.
that. Yeah. Um, was there ever a time in your life where you doubted God or what you believed?
I mean, not really. I say even in my lowest moments or my darkest moments, I always knew that He was still working on my behalf. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, so every day is not glamorous. Every day is not, fancy, and PR is, yes, PR is an amazing career field, but every day is not, the camera is like camera action. There are a lot of days
Mhm.
of hard work, a lot of days of, figuring out what's next and how to grow and, just trying to figure it out. And I still never doubt. I
Mm.
just,
Mhm.
it just, I don't want to miss out on my blessing. I don't want that
Mm.
one day that I doubt be the moment I miss out.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And because I know, I tell my friends all the time, I feel myself on the verge of what's next. I'm just kind of in a season right now of expectation,
Mm.
and I'm kind of sitting still, kind of really looking at every opportunity that comes my way as could that be the blessing I've been waiting for? And so
Mhm.
I take no opportunity for granted. I take no phone call for granted, no consultation for granted. Because you never
Mhm.
know when God's going to send the one that will change your life.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now. I can feel it. I can almost see it. And so doubt right now is not an option, and it's really never been an option.
Mhm. Mhm. I love that. So in your career, what is one of the biggest fears that you faced?
PR is a saturated field with what I call actual publicists and publicists. Um,
Mhm.
and when I say that, no disrespect to anyone who works in the industry, but I can't wake up and say I want to be a doctor. I can't just walk in a hospital and slap MD on my chest.
Mm.
And so PR is one of those fields that have kind of really been saturated with self-taught publicists. And
Mhm.
for those like myself who've been to school not only
Mhm.
once but twice to pursue this career, it's hard.
Mhm.
It becomes hard to get into the field because people are taking clients' money and not delivering because they don't know what to do, and or something, the type of things. But my biggest fear really is just kind of being successful and kind of just navigating through people's fears of PR.
Mm.
PR is the
Mhm.
most
Mhm.
non-guaranteed return on your investment, really. I mean, I can never really guarantee you an interview. I can never really guarantee you,
Mhm. Mhm.
publicity.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just one of those things that, like faith, it's blind. You have to go in just fearless and just
Mhm.
push, like constantly push and push and push
Mhm.
until you finally get to the point where you're secure within yourself in the industry, that you
Mhm.
know that who I am is going to always outweigh the noise in the market.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. So how do you deliver to your clients, and do they keep coming back?
So I so for some reason my agency kind of changes as the years go by. My clientele changes.
Mm.
Uh, and for the most, once kind of within the season, they stay. My clients really stay, and they really believe in my vision and my passion. And because
Mhm.
my business is led by God, by the Spirit, I truly lead my business by the Spirit, and also I have clients
Mhm.
that I believe are sent by God. So everyone who works with me, who I work with, are
Mhm.
very in sync. We're literally on the same road when it comes to their brand, to their vision. And they're on the same road with me when it comes to my vision for them, my vision for my life. And
Mhm.
kind of just a big support system. And so it's been more or less like a family style agency than it's been what I'm used to.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
and it's been very, very rewarding. I've surprised myself as to what I've been able to achieve, been able to experience in the amount of
Mhm.
time that I've been, my age is only 3 years old. And so in the amount of time, we've done a lot and we've seen a lot. We've worked for a lot of people.
Mhm.
Um, I've had over 65 different projects and clients in the last 3 years. It
Wow.
doesn't always feel like that, but the record is there. I look at my database all the time. And I'm like, oh wow, and then
Mhm.
the quality of the clientele and the quality of the projects just keep getting bigger and better. And I just, you know, coming from a place where I struggled academically in high school, and even in primary school, to being
Mhm.
at a point where I'm an entrepreneur with 2 degrees going on, 2 more.
Mhm.
It's so amazing. I know it's only by God's grace.
Mhm. Mhm. I love that. And I love that it's you make people feel welcome, it sounds like. right? Obviously, there's the business side, but people also want to feel heard on a sort of personal level, not too personal, but they want to have comfort. I can sense that you give them that, and you give them room for growth, and that's important to do as well. Um, do you find that in the line of work that you do, some people misunderstand what you do?
Of course. I mean, it I said PR is not necessarily a very popular industry. People who know, and there's some people who know they need it but don't really know why. Those
Mm,
kind of like the harder clients. So we're trying to get them to buy into the concept of having PR. Because like I said, they know they need it. They've heard they need a publicist, but then they're like, well, what exactly do they do? Why can't I
mm,
do this on my own? So really kind of explaining that it's been like, a challenge, but nothing extreme, nothing over the top. I would say the only challenges I've ever had have been, those clients, the clients who just want a deal or looking for a deal, and it's like you don't ask your doctor for a deal. You know,
yeah,
you don't
you're
you don't
right.
you don't go to Gucci and be like, where the sale? Well, I mean, you might go to the sale rack, but Gucci ain't got no sale. So, why are you to me asking me for a sale when you need my services?
Mm,
Want a Gucci bag, but you need my services, and you're going to spend the two
mhm.
3,000 on the Gucci bag, but you won't spend the money it'll tell you to pay my retainer, which is not a Gucci bag. But you want Gucci style, Gucci quality services. So those are the kind of
Mhm,
the challenges that I have in the industry. And it really
mhm,
goes back to what I said earlier about people working with other publicists and being robbed of
mhm,
not only their finances but their innocence. And
mhm,
and probably the ignorance because of lack of knowledge. And then
mhm,
they come someone like me who has been in the industry and I've been trained professionally and academically. And I
mhm.
said, we can do this was going to cost. They're looking at me like a day in headlights. And I'm like, well, this is
Yeah.
good. I
Mhm,
know for a fact that this is good based on the industry. I know what I can
mhm,
deliver. And like you said earlier, I try to give my content experience. It's not just cut and dry business relationship. I try to make sure that I'm invested not only where you are now, but where you're trying to go, and
mhm,
whatever it takes to get there, and
mhm,
whoever comes along for the journey, whether it's your partner, your children, your parents, whoever's a part of the conversation. You're not my family by extension, and
yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't just charge just to be charging money. I charge because I try to give
Mhm,
clients the best of me, and the best of
mhm,
me requires
mhm,
some
mhm.
money. This
Yeah.
isn't this isn't an overnight thing. It requires as much work time as it does personal time, and personal time requires a lot of self care.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
I think you want me to come out at 100%. I have to invest 100% into myself.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, you're right. There are those people who are looking for the cheap way in, not realizing that you put 100% in what you do, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that some clients, they've had bad experiences with previous publicists, and then they come to you, they're kind of retrieved and they don't know if they can trust what you're doing on that?
A lot of the time, I get it a lot of the time, and that's when the challenge comes in. And I tell people
Mhm,
all the time that you know not because a publicist is popular means that they're your publicist.
mhm,
Take time and get to know that person. Your publicist is honestly in the same conversation as your lawyer. They're your best friend.
mhm,
They know everything.
mhm, mhm,
They know where
mhm,
all the bodies are hidden. They
mhm,
know everything. And so it's really important you take your time and get to know who you're about to hire.
mhm, mhm,
Because really truly they're with you for the rest of your life. For most of them. I mean, unless you fire them, they're with you for the rest of your life.
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
And like I said, not because they're popular, not because they somehow snag some award here or there, means that they're the right person for you.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. What are some red flags that clients should look for?
Client turnover,
Mm,
what really well. And this is kind of I don't really like social media, so I'm about to say is going to kind of backfire a little bit on myself. But look at the agency's social media, particularly a larger agency. Look at social media and look at the clientele that they have,
Mm-hmm.
and look at they're kind of like, okay, now you see they're posting it for about 3 months and then they're gone. Look at the
Mm.
kind of pattern, like, how many clients are they constantly posting, and then where do they go after a while? They can't
Yeah.
disappear. Um, really have conversations, in my consultation. Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel rushed?
Mm.
I tell people, yes, my consultation is 30 minutes, but if it takes me an hour to really kind of get you to understand what we're about to do, I will take
Mm-hmm.
the hour.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
you don't choose me, I want you to know what you're getting yourself into with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That would
Mm-hmm.
be number one. Like, look at the client turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Two, how comfortable are you with your call, with your experience so far?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not cheap to invest in PR. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable with what you're about to invest in.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing would just be monitoring your relationship, making sure that the vision that you have for yourself and the vision that the publicist has for you are the same. Don't ever let a publicist put a vision on you that's not your that's not that you don't want, a lifestyle that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, we may see something in a client, and we're like, let's explore that lane for the benefit of the agency, but not for the benefit of the client.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the clients
Yeah.
will tell you, I don't want to be on reality TV. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there. But because we see it in you, we pull it out of you, or try to pull it out of you for our benefit. So be
Mm-hmm.
very careful of that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that would be my biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
Just be cautious, be aware, communicate how you feel, constantly communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever be in a relationship with a publicist and you're not pleased with where we're going,
Mm-hmm.
or pleased with where we're going, and what you're constantly doing. Don't ever be in the dark of what's going on. Let them
Mm-hmm.
know. Let us know how we can do better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
those will be I'll be in.
Yeah. I love that you use the word vision. I love that word in that aspect because it's important to have a client relationship, I guess, to honor that company or person's vision.
Yeah.
Um, how do you do that? How do you honor clients' vision? Do you do exactly what they're asking? You give them your thoughts or ideas?
So in our onboarding, we do a deep dive into not only what obviously you're here for, but what are you
Hmm.
doing in your life? What else is going on in your life? What other lanes can we explore?
Hmm.
And we build a vision from that.
Hmm.
And I'll be honest, I do a lot of prayer. I love prayer, and talk to God about, God, where do you want me to take this person?
Hmm.
Where do you want me to take this person? And when
Hmm.
God reveals it to me, I share it with the client, and sometimes they agree to some of it. Sometimes they're like, let's break it down. Let's do it piece by piece, which is fine. Um, but like I said, I'm only going to do as much as the client wants, with a little
Hmm.
more, obviously. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's your money. It's your money.
Hmm.
It's your brand. I'm gonna give my professional opinion, but I will never overstep and push you into something that I know you don't want to do.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
I don't want. I've never been the kind of person who want to be pushed. I personally don't want to push into anything that I don't want to do, and
Hmm.
so I believe
Hmm.
in making sure that as an individual, you honor where people are and
Hmm.
take them where they want to go, but in the style which they're comfortable with a little bit of stretch. But don't
Hmm.
ever overstretch somebody, because then it becomes unenjoyable. And passion and purpose is supposed to be enjoyed.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. And communication.
Yes.
And it's so hard to communicate. Some people, they talk, but they don't have the skill.
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't have the skill, it's hard to know where they're coming from. And I can tell you have the skill to do that. I need to hire a publicist. Maybe I'll check your work and we can see how we can work
Yes, I would be
because
very
I
cool.
am drowning. Right? It's hard. It's hard running a podcast alone. I don't have experience, right? Let's say we're working together. I have zero experience. What are some steps you would take to guide me to work with you?
I would really honestly ask you, why are you doing this? Like, what is? it's kind of interesting experience, but what was the reason behind getting into this to begin with?
Yes.
And that way your answer will determine our next steps. Do we
Mm,
kind of, find other podcasts we to study and connect with and network with? Are there any
mhm,
summits or festivals or whatever podcasters have conventions for you to attend and kind of
mhm,
get you in any VIP sessions or rooms or that kind of stuff?
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
that would and then putting you on other podcasts, putting you in the guest seat to for the experience
mm.
of it.
Yes.
So that you can take away things from your own podcast. That would be, the first steps.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, I think I might take your advice.
Even before building out, the look, feel, the branding, let's start with the root of what's going like where you're at.
Mhm,
The
mhm,
experience, okay. So we need to put you in some rooms and places, shaking
mhm,
some hands, who have the experience.
mhm,
That's
mhm.
number one. Number two is
Yeah,
then
yeah.
building out the platform. What does your podcast look and feel like? Who are your guests? What level are they ABC, talent?
Mhm,
Um,
mhm,
is this pay to play? Is it free? Is it use sponsorships? Like kind of building out the format. And then
mhm.
once you launch or relaunch, um, it's really just continuing the quality and the consistency.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I think, it depends on the situation. Sometimes quantity is better than quality, than quality, quantity. It's just understanding kind of when to apply either or both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mhm,
it's all about
mhm.
conversation. It's all about strategy.
Yes,
All
yes,
about
yeah,
strategy.
yeah. What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's fresh and they want to enter into your profession? They don't know what they're doing, they're just excited to start.
Um, I would go to school. Yes, if
Yeah.
you're at college level, or if you can, that's what I said, college level. If you're at a place where you can go back to school and get a degree, go and get a degree.
Mm,
Um, if you're not in a place, at least do a certification.
mm,
One, you will earn the respect of publicists like myself. That's just being
yeah.
real. And secondly, you
Mm,
will come in with some knowledge and actual skills to do what you need to do, and
mhm,
it will open up doors. I will say, publicists, we work so hard, so many hours. We don't often have time to train people. Like
mhm,
I really can't teach someone what to do what I can do. But if you come to me and say I can write a
mm,
press release, I can do like I have certain skills. Okay, we can build on that as time goes on. But the time now I can say, just write all the pictures for me. I can
mm,
use some work and be okay. But coming to
mhm,
me and say, I just don't have any skills, but I want to get into it, it's gonna be hard for you. And so I
mhm,
would say try and get some kind of education under your belt, some kind of certification.
mhm,
Um, and then intern, even if it's for free, find you an internship.
mhm,
Find
mhm,
an internship. I will say my very well, actually no. I've never had a free internship, but granted,
mm,
um, my process was different. But
mm,
if it's free, find you an internship. I don't care how old you are. If you are 50 in the games industry, find someone to work under, and just observe, ask questions, and
mm,
research. Do your research. Follow us on
mhm,
Instagram, follow podcasts, and just kind of intake as much as you can, and then just always put your best foot forward.
mhm,
The
mhm.
best,
Yeah.
I mean, I was on the best. 90% of publicists are well put together individuals, well kept individuals.
Mm,
We have to be. We have to always be on our A game. I can't go with a client looking raggedy.
mhm, mhm.
Never. I can't go to the supermarket looking raggedy. You never know who you're gonna meet. When you
Yeah.
represent people publicly,
Mhm,
you always have to put your best foot forward, no matter where you go with what you're doing, because you never know who you're gonna run into,
mhm,
and you never know
mhm,
who knows you. That's been the biggest thing I've learned. You never know who knows.
mhm.
People have stopped me all the time and asked me about the industry. I'm like, well, how do you know what I do for a living? They hear my name somewhere, they see me somewhere. I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Mm.
interesting. In my personal life, when I tell you I'm an introvert, I'm like, why are you talking to me? and, then, and I quickly switch to my profession. I'm like, okay, smiling and engaging conversation.
Mm,
Like literally last week, I was in the grocery store, headphones in, kind of going through my little list, and if they stopped me, And then she seen me somewhere and she had a question for me about PR, about a personal situation.
Mm-hmm.
Talked to me for an hour. I was
Wow.
in the grocery store, get my groceries, become my business. And, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So as part of this coming industry,
Mm-hmm.
I would say just always be prepared, be
Mm-hmm.
ready to network, be ready to just
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm.
Literally,
Yeah.
you never know. You never know what's gonna come up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's talk about international clients.
Hmm.
Um, do you have some clients that are international?
I do. So being from the Bahamas, I have clientele in the Bahamas. It's home, so it's a little,
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to the way the Bahamians work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's interesting, I don't go home very often.
Mm-hmm.
What I do, I try to connect with as much people as I can. I try to stay connected to the industry, but it's good to have international clientele.
Mm-hmm.
It puts your name, your brand, your image in a whole different realm. Yes, I live in Atlanta. I have clients in Atlanta, clients in Baltimore, clients on the West Coast. But
Mm-hmm.
how many clients in a different country? People hear that like, oh, okay. It kind of takes it kind of, what's I'm looking for? It kind of gets your credibility to a different level.
Mm-hmm. You're right. It's just different perspective because
Mm-hmm.
every country may be they may have different definition for publicists or how they do things. So that's good that you do have that because it just gives you different experience and more knowledge
Mm-hmm.
into what you do. Yeah. Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So I will be what, 31? um I will still
Hey,
be
I'm 33 and still fine, flying and doing good.
I will still be in school. Yeah, I will still be in school, finishing up my
Hmm.
program.
Hmm.
But that's how to honestly be a thought leader in the industry. I really want to move more to the speaking, training, consultation only space, unless I'm more out of the hands-on space.
Hmm.
Also, I just want to come into places and kind of delegate and go about my business. So,
Yeah.
but no, and honestly, I really want to move to a space where I am the person you call. Like, when countries have an issue, when
Hmm.
large companies have an issue, you call Daniel. And
Hmm.
come not only do PR, but with my faith background, kind of do a culture change,
Hmm. Hmm.
culture shifting.
Hmm.
And that's the goal. That is the 5-year plan.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that because you don't really fit in one box. That's what I seem to be finding with some people or what they do is that they just stay in one box. They don't really spread their wings to see, where they can
Mm.
go. So I like
And
that you do it all.
you have to be flexible. That's particularly in the world. This world's changing. You never know, it's gonna be a recession. You never know when the world's gonna be end. There's always something going on. So you want to be able to be flexible. There might be another pandemic coming. Who knows? Whenever that, and if it happens, and hopefully it doesn't. But you
Yeah.
to navigate that. I launched my business in the pandemic, literally February
Wow.
2020. Launched my business, and I did. I was able to survive. I kept me busy,
Hmm.
and I just, able to kind of navigate and learn. And so I
Hmm.
realized that's what God prepared me for. He prepared me to be able to stretch. He prepared
Hmm.
me to kind of shift with what needs to happen.
Hmm.
I mean, who started a business when everyone else is closing down? Like, that's ridiculous. But it was the time, and it was my time. It was my time, and so
Yeah.
I tell anybody in any industry. My father, now he's 56, or will be 56 this year. And I gotta tell him, like, what's next for you? Even at 56, like, are you happy
Hmm.
what you're doing? If not, what's next? What does that even look
Hmm.
like? Having a
Hmm.
conversation with yourself or other people about stretching and growing and evolving, and no matter what
Hmm.
age you're at.
Hmm. Hmm.
See, at the end of the day, until you can really say that you're truly happy and have found your purpose and your passion, you should constantly be on a growth chart. You should constantly be trying to grow and move
Hmm.
and just figure things out. Yes, life
Yeah.
will always be life thing. Yes, there will be bills, there will be everything.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
when all said and done, when you're 70 years old, if you make it 70, 80 years old when you're retired, and you look back over your life, can you really say you've been happy
Mhm.
with your
Mhm.
choices?
Yeah,
And that's what I
yeah.
want my life and everyone attached to me. I want to be able to sit back and have conversations with everyone I know. And we all can say that we've been happy with every single decision we've made.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, so many of us, we let our age restricts us from
Mm.
pursuing our dreams and goals. And I can tell that you're breaking that barrier for people, right?
Yes.
It's just the way that things are set in society and the belief system of certain things, or could be how we were raised. But as soon as someone turned 40, 50, 60, that means life's over, slow down, get retired.
Mhm.
I mean, not everyone does slow down. Some people go against the storm in life. So
But
it's
most
good
people
to
probably kind of
still have
wind
fun.
down. 30s like, oh, they're 30 now. It's time to settle down. Time to get married, have kids, which is valid. It's valid. 30, you're 30. Let's start adulting. You're 40, definitely let's like what we're doing. Um,
Hmm.
um, but even with that, it's like you can settle down, you can kind of focus, but also be pushing full steam ahead.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I look at my 30s as my era to really lock in. I'm working now, but I'm working also being 20, and I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything. Uh,
Yeah.
um, and I'm kind of trying to be in the world, but be in the world at the same
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
But 30, I really feel like it's a time where you really kind of just lock in and focus, like what is the game plan for these next 10 years? And you
Hmm.
check the boxes.
Hmm.
You're living your life, but you're checking boxes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I wish your
Yeah.
40s and 50s are kind of just reaping what you've done in your 30s.
What was that?
I said, I really believe that if you really lock in your 30s,
Yeah.
the rest of your life will be a season of reaping.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you can
Yeah.
commit 10 years of just building,
Hmm.
just like
Hmm.
some serious heavy lifting, I think that your 40s onward would be just nothing but reaping.
Hmm. 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 And I also believe in meaning and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all of us have to do some type of job to provide and have income coming in. But there are those who just go to work because they have to, not because they enjoy it, not because it's their soul calling, not because it's their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to those people?
Your job. I mean, my mother passed away last year, and the one thing I realized in her transition was that she did everything she loved. Granted, she was 54, but she had done everything she wanted to do. She went to school, she had raised a family, she had the career she wanted, left a
Mhm,
legacy. And for me,
mhm,
legacy is a big part of my life. Making sure leaving a legacy.
mhm,
And she did that. She left her legacy. And so
mhm,
even though I might be grieving, I might be sad about losing her, when I look back on her life and the 50 years she's been alive, she did what she wanted to do.
mhm,
And so I tell people life is so short. You never know what's your time to go. You want to make sure you're living every day for selfishly for yourself. And make sure you're
mhm,
doing things that make you genuinely happy. Not just gonna be
mhm,
perfect, but if I can get 300 perfect days out of 365, I
mhm.
count that as a win.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're only going to work just to pay bills or to make ends meet,
Mm.
what's the point in living? I'm not saying go out there now and your
Yeah,
life. I'm
yeah.
saying go out there and reevaluate your life
Mm,
and maybe restart. Get you a life coach, get you just a
mhm,
therapist, somebody to help you navigate how to get out of where you're at. And it's not too late.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
not too late. And yes, I'm 26 and saying this. People are gonna say, "Oh, well, he's not experiencing anything." That's your personal opinion. But
mhm.
what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I don't care how much debt you're in. I don't care. Oh, I got kids put through college. Whatever your excuse may be. No.
Mhm,
Do what you need
mhm,
to do So if it takes 5 years to get to where you need to be, start planning now. If you know, yes, I have kids put through college, or whatever, I need to get out of debt. You need to plan how to get out of debt in the next 5 years so that you can start living your best life. Not working in the next 30 years to retire to hopefully then start living because you might die before that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about the passing of your mom. Yeah, I lost my dad in 2020, and then 2021, my aunt. Um, Sadly, my dad, no one cared that he passed because he wasn't a good person, a good father, which is sad. But my aunt, that one really crushed me because she raised me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
And
this
losing a loved
just
one is
yeah.
never easy,
Mm,
but one thing it's taught me is it unlocks so much.
mm,
When really losing a parent, like I've lost other family members. I used to work for a church, so I planned funerals. I've been to a ton of funerals, but
mhm,
losing a parent or a parental figure unlocks a whole new level of fire inside of you.
mhm, mhm,
It's like you
mhm,
have to like I have this constant desire to want to do more and
mhm,
be more because my
mhm,
mother could not be more than what she was. She passed. And so now, granted, yes, I was already doing that,
mhm,
but now it's like I want more top of the more.
mhm, mhm, mhm,
And I feel her inside of me just pushing me and pushing me and pushing me.
mhm,
And I'm like, you're driving a car, you're driving so fast, you don't know where you're going, but you know you're about to reach destination.
mhm,
Or you eventually gonna reach destination. That's why I feel like I'm driving a car, I'm going so fast. But I know this destination. I don't know what it is, where it is, what it looks like. But I'm excited
mhm,
to get
mhm, mhm. Yeah.
I'm excited to get there. So, to anyone who lost a parent, I'm sure they feel this way. I don't even have lost a parent.
Mhm,
I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I don't want people to yes, I do struggle with grief, but I don't want people to I don't feel I can handle my grief. I'm working on that. Pray for my next. Pray for my safe arrival to my destination.
mm. Wow. I love everything you just said. And some people underestimate millennials. They see them as different or with no knowledge or anything. You're the opposite. Uh, and I know probably there are other people looking up to you, and I admire your strength to keep going because I pray that no one has to go through a loss to wake up to their purpose. And you're right. When we lose people, my fire, it's not the same. Before I lost, my dad, my aunt, it's just it got worse and worse and worse and worse in the most beautiful ways.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like, you kind of have a moment. You have your moment,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
then it's like this rainbow appears, and it's like
Mhm.
even when I'm sad, I don't want to be sad. When I'm crying, I'm motivated. When I'm
Mhm.
depressed, I'm motivated. You're in this like cluster of emotions, but it all is surrounded by this burning desire, this burning
Mhm.
fire. I don't know if it's the one to see them again. I don't know what it is, but I just know it's just an experience. Granted, I will wish death on nobody,
Mhm.
and I will wish this process on no one, even my worst enemy. But those who have to go through it, because we all have to go through it,
Mhm. Mhm.
embrace the grief in the moment, but don't let the grief embrace you.
I love that. And
Because
most
you're gonna
of
miss
us
out.
do. Most of us let it. And when we
Mm-hmm.
let it, we lose ourselves.
We lose
And it's
ourselves. We lose
very hard. Yeah. Yeah.
on the moments that come after that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, we lose ourselves in the grief and the pain, and we don't know who we are. I'll speak for myself. That was my case, right? Because obviously life is full of unexpected traumas or things that happen. Sometimes we are drowned by them and we never surface back up. And it takes a very, very strong person to surface up and to keep fighting the waves and just keep going.
Yeah, just keep swimming. Just gotta keep swimming. Gotta keep, no matter what, stay
Mhm.
afloat. Even if you just let it float sometimes, you never sink.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
Sometimes you got to
Love that.
freestyle, sometimes you got to backstroke, sometimes you got to butterfly. Whatever your process is to get to, you gotta go. Sometimes
Yeah,
you gotta float on your back, but
yeah.
never sink. You never
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. So, Danielle, what's next in your journey?
School in the fall is next. That's what's next. I'm
Mhm,
taking time somewhere to take a few trips and kind of refresh and
mm,
prepare for school. I really do believe that the fall is going to unlock the next level of my life. I
mm,
truly believe that, and I'm excited to receive all of God is planning for me
mhm,
and sending my direction. But I know that I can't properly take it on without taking time from myself.
mm, mhm. Yeah, sounds like you have very healthy boundaries between your health, between work. You kind of separate them or know um,
I try.
when and what to do.
I try.
Mhm,
I've seen my parents work. I see them work hard, and I see them be unappreciated, and I
mm,
saw them work through their boundaries.
mm,
And so
mhm,
now I appreciate the boundaries. Like
mhm,
what having it's easy to kind of navigate life when it's a blueprint.
mhm, mhm,
And my parents have made sure, my grandparents have made sure, my aunts also made sure that the things that they went through, that I would have to go through, my cousins and siblings would have to go through,
mm,
as hard as
mm,
they went through it.
mhm, mhm,
And so, there's no professional question I can have that I can't have answered.
mm,
My
I love
aunts
that.
also, entrepreneur. They've been employees and employers, all of them. Uh,
Mhm,
and so I know there's no, like I said, I can't feel because I don't have a reason to feel.
mm, mhm, mhm. Yeah. So what are some key takeaways that you want my audience to get, anyone who's watching or listening,
The
from
biggest thing
what you
is
shared?
just tap into your purpose, tap
Mm,
into your gifting, whatever it is that God or whatever high power you believe in, whatever
mhm,
you believe is your purpose or your passion or your gift, just tap into it.
mm,
I literally, I dare you to just tap in. 90
mhm.
days, tap in. Whether
Yeah.
it's baking, whether it's gardening, whatever it is, I watch how your life begins to
Mm,
transform from
mm,
peace to profit.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, I love that because so many of us are so terrified of trying. We haven't tried and we already fear failing without even trying.
Mhm.
So I love that you said to tap into it because if we
That
don't,
is
how do we know?
you will never know. You will never know what it feels like to be a peaceful millionaire
Mm,
because you're
mhm,
not operating your purpose.
mhm,
And your
mhm,
peace is tied to your purpose.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, you're right.
So
And
simple.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's just so simple. I mean, that is not simple, but it's, people like, I just want peace, love, and happiness. I want peace, love, and happiness. Well, your peace, love, and happiness is tied to your purpose.
Mm, wow, that just speaks to my soul there. I needed to hear that. I know I'm not alone because when we found our purpose, we find peace with our
Mm-hmm.
purpose. It's not separate from it, it's connected. That's what I've found. Example for me with podcasting, I don't have any experience. I have a story and I can communicate. I think that's enough, right? Uh, Obviously, there are niche and different things to do, but it's just tapping in, starting. Starting is important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
never looking back, the first thing, this is how I knew that I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur.
Mm,
Every time I get to a point where I'm oh, life is starting to life. Adulting starting to adult. I need a job. Dan needs to
mm,
get a job because he needs some stability. I
mm,
go get a job. Getting a job is not hard for me. I can get a job. About 6 months in, I'm kind of over the job. I'm like, I'm irritated. It's just this.
mm,
And then you look at my
mm.
resume. I've worked everywhere for 6 months, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I've had enough of this.
Mm,
Nothing against the agency. It's just that I get there, I'm like, I see what I can do better.
mm,
But I
mhm,
can't tell my boss what to do better in her business or his
mm,
business.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah.
I just learn. I learn. So I go, I learn, and I move on. But I'm at the point now
Mhm,
where I'm past that. I'm
mhm,
past the whole cycle of trying to be somewhere and waste my time. So,
mm, mhm.
stop wasting people's time. If
Oh,
you're not, if you
yeah,
don't, if you don't like your job, just leave.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yep, it's gonna be a struggle. And entrepreneurship comes with a very high level of accountability and uncertainty and anxiety and all those things. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit in front, but it
Mhm,
also comes with a level of peace. I mean, I'm happy at the end of the day.
mm. I
At
can
the end of
tell
the
you
day,
are.
I'm happy
Yeah.
and I'm in control of my environment.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. And some of us, we stay in places that we have outgrown.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know when to leave, when to move to
We
the
don't,
next. Therefore,
and then
we just don't grow. We don't
we get mad
grow.
when we put out. We get mad when we get fired, and we're like, "But you just want to leave me in the secret. Why are you mad?" So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's the time to evaluate, to really reevaluate. Do I
Mhm,
belong?
mhm, mhm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Where can my listeners find you and support your work?
You can find me on Instagram at my personal Instagram is Daniel J.A. Gibson.
Mhm,
My Facebook is my name, Daniel Jared Alexander Gibson.
mhm.
And then my professional handles are all the strategist group, I believe. I don't know, I will change them today
Mhm,
to the strategist group on Facebook and Instagram.
mhm. Yeah, I'll be sharing that with everyone once you send me the links as well. Yeah. Before I let you go, do you have any final thoughts?
Um, no, I don't.
You said it all. That was
I
an
I've said
incredible
it all.
interview. Yes, you
I said
did.
it all. I just want to encourage people to really, particularly this year, just find your purpose.
Mm, mhm,
Find
mhm,
your purpose. Get you a coach. I have an amazing business coach, administrative coach,
mhm,
and she is the CEO position to prosper.
mhm,
And when I tell you, I've never, I mean, granted, my parents keep me home accountable, but I've never had a level of accountability like she gives me. It
mm,
just get you a coach.
mhm,
Get you a coach. If you feel like in a place where I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do next, I just like to leave, get out of here, get you a coach.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank
I
you so much for
wish you
having me.
so much in everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome. Thank you.